My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. This is the only channel dedicated to UFC fight picks and DraftKings lineups run by MMA insiders and professional fighters. Every week, I join Dan Kramer and Nick Newell, two longtime professional fighters that have fought at the highest levels on the planet, as well as Jacob Lyons, a skinny kid from Indiana. So join us every single week for our full fight card breakdowns, our individual fight card breakdowns, our betting guide, and our DraftKings lineups. Big time pay-per-view next weekend. We have UFC 264 Poirier versus McGregor 3. And Monkey Knife Fight dropped these lines nice and early, so plenty of time to get in on these. And don't forget, these lines move. These strike lines do move with the money. So if you like one, hit it now, see where it moves, and then you can hit it again before the fights if it moved in the direction that you like. First thing you need to do is go to playmkf.com/wewantpicks. Use promo code WWP and they will instantly match your full deposit up to $100. Take the free money, spend that, keep your real money, and just let this ball roll. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk through UFC 264. We're going to hit up the three big fights on the card, and then we'll each grab one that we enjoy, and we're going to tell you what our plays and picks are. So let's go ahead, and we are going to start with Greg Hardy versus Tai Tuivasa. We have a very even strike line here. Greg Hardy, 55.5. Tai Tuivasa, 49.5. If you don't know what you need to do here, the only thing you need to do is pick more or less. So will Greg Hardy land more or less than 55.5 strikes? Tai Tuivasa, more or less than 49.5 strikes. Guys, I'm going the less here. I think it's a stoppage, 55.5. That's a lot of strikes to get in one round, and I think Tai Tuivasa stops Greg Hardy in the first or the second. So I'm going less. What are you doing, Danny?
55. I like less. I'm good with that. The only thing I could see is Tuivasa dragging him down at some point, or I don't know. I just think Hardy's going to gas out. So I'm with you. Yeah, less. I just hope it comes sooner than later.
Jakey boy, what's your play here?
Yeah, I think something happens big on the first exchange, really, for this fight, because Greg Hardy, we know, comes out just like a madman. So I'll go less on this as well. I'm more on the Greg Hardy side. I think he comes with something a little bit wild and catches ties. So either way, I think something happens literally in the first exchange. So less.
Yeah, less is the play. Now I think about it, there's so many ways for this thing to end early, and even the longest way it ends is by Hardy gassing out in the the second round. Even if it goes late second round, they're probably both still under.
So we're all going less here. These are early lines, so you 2.5 times your money. Once you get closer to the fight, you can 3 times your money. But again, these lines move. If you like a line, hit it now. I imagine this line's going to drop big time with all the money coming in on it. So come in here. I'm just going to throw $10. I buy in 10 to win $25. I'm going to click submit. That is locked in. And let's go ahead and play the next line. Close this. New game. So let's go to the co-main event. We have Stephen Wonderboy Thompson versus Gilbert Burns. Stephen Thompson at 95.5. Gilbert Burns at 67.5. This is a tough line because they obviously see this as going the distance for the most part. I do think less on Thompson, more on Burns. I have Stephen Thompson winning this fight. Watch that breakdown if you want more information. But I just think with Thompson's in and out karate style, Burns is going to be coming in with those big punches or looking for a takedown. So I think we're going to get less for Stephen Thompson and more for Gilbert Burns. But this is a really hard line to call. Danny boy, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think man, Thompson's been so active. Like his last 2 fights, he looked really good. And he was busy, but he's also 38 years old, and Burns is legit. So, yeah, I think less more, because Burns could get a couple takedowns. He's going to be trying for him, that's for sure. So if he does that, yeah, I like less more.
Jake, you agreed with me that Wonderboy wins this fight. What's your play here?
I mean, total strikes in his last fight, Stephen Thompson, I guess it was a 5-rounder.
5 rounds against the striker.
Yeah, but still, he threw 100, or he landed 100. He threw 428 strikes. in 5
Yeah, but
rounds.
what did he
What did he
land?
land?
191.
So half, 2 extra rounds. This
but
is
still,
half.
I mean, still
yeah.
he almost threw 500 strikes.
Yeah.
So I love Stephen Thompson in this matchup. I think he controls the entire fight, and if he controls the entire fight, it's going to be him just piecing up Gilbert the entire time. So I definitely I'm playing the more and more on this for sure.
Jacob, I like the dynamic with you having stats and stuff on your screen. Keep doing that. It worked in the betting guide, and it's working here. Keep doing that. That's our new thing.
I almost like less now that I'm thinking about it. What did Burns get his last fight? It's a 5
Well, he
round
was
fight.
stopped, though.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't see Wonderboy.
Less more or less is definitely the play here.
Yeah, I'm liking less more, but I'm actually going to sit tight on this and see where this line moves.
Even in 2 rounds, he threw 124 versus Usman and landed 55.
Yeah, this is a really good. This is a really good strike line. So I'm gonna leave it here, and we're gonna see where it moves, and I'll play it closer to the fight for 3 times my money. That's the beauty of these moving lines.
Hey,
so
I just moved, and my name's Lines.
Okay, congratulations. Moving on to the main event, we have Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor. This is a pretty low strike line for a 5-round fight with a couple of welterweights. So everybody's expecting this to not go the distance. We have Dustin Poirier at 85.5, Conor McGregor at 69.5 strikes. This is another tricky one, but I think more is the play here. I do think there's a stoppage, but I think it's 2nd round maybe. Damn it! I'm gonna go the exact opposite of what I just said. I'm gonna go less.
I'll give the stats for you so you can try to make your mind. Last fight was a round and a half. Dustin landed 53. Conor landed 52.
Right.
So.
Oh man.
Kind of. I don't think that helps at all. But
no, that just made it way.
The safer play honestly is more and more because both these guys are very skilled. They're both very, very tough. I think the safer play, even I think that it's first round finish for Conor. I think for this play, just to cover the bases, the safer play is probably more and more because they're not going to be idiots rushing in and getting caught. They know how to slip punches. They know how to take punches. When they're on the ground, they know how to survive. So I think the play is probably more and more here.
So it's essentially, based off the numbers we gave, right, 52 and 53, if they go into the 3rd round, they both should cover this.
Yeah, right? If it's similar to last time, yeah.
I think the fight's going to be similar to last time. I just think it'll go a round or so longer. So maybe, I think it is more and more.
All right, I'll throw $10 at more and more.
The only issue
I already bet less, and now after talking to you guys, I'm like, you know what? Maybe it is more and more.
This is a tough one. What were you saying, Jacob?
Would be, as you kind of mentioned, Dan, is if Dustin comes out just grappling heavy and it's a more controlled grappling style, that's when we can get to some issues with that number. But I think the safe play is probably more and more.
Right.
All right, I'm locking in more and more, $10 to win $25. Now what we're going to do is we're each going to pick a fight. So let's go back to the page here. We'll each grab a fight that we like. So these are early. So right now, it's just these fights. Closer to the fight, what Monkey Knife Fight allows you to do is you can mix and match different people from different fights. And they've also added a knockout game where you pick 3 fighters. And if one of them wins by knockout, you win. 2, you win more. 3, you win even more. But right now, we're each just going to grab a fight. I'm going to go first, boys. I'm going with Kunitskaya versus Aldana. Aldana. I'm going
there.
What'd you say?
I said low-hanging fruit there. That's kind of the easiest one to pick, probably.
Yeah, I'm going less. There is a ton of volume here. I mean, Kunitskaya has incredible output, but I'm going less. That's just a ton of strikes in 3 rounds. Obviously, the stats support it. That's why this is the line. But I just think Irene has that really good, crisp, technical boxing. Kunitskaya has kicks, takedowns, and is much more versatile. And I think she's going to use the takedowns to avoid the big power punches. So I'm going less. I think there's a little bit of smothering going on here. So less is my play. What do you guys think, Danny?
I'll give some stats again. You love these stats. Her Aldana's last fight was 5 rounds versus a striker in Holly Holmes, and she only landed 92 total strikes.
Yeah,
in 5 rounds. So there's a number.
Yeah, that's a lot of strikes. Less is good with me.
That's a lot of strikes, even if it was 5 rounds. Even if that was 5 rounds, I'd be like, eh. And this is only 3 rounds, so I think less definitely to play.
I'm
I'd
really
max it out,
confident in this
Angelo.
one.
I would
I'm
max it out.
throwing 50 at this one. I'm very
Yeah,
confident.
I would max it out.
Yeah, it is. 50 is the max out right now. They protect the early lines in case they get them wrong. So later in the week, you'll triple your money and you can play more. I'm maxing it at 50 right now because that's all we can do. But I imagine everybody's going to play the less, and this line's going to drop significantly. So get on this line early. Play mkf.com/WeWantPicks. Jump on this line. Use promo code WWP. They will instantly match your deposit. Use the free money. This way, if you miss, who cares? It's free money. Danny boy, what's your play? Pick a fight. Any fight.
Let's take a look here. Which one do I like the most? Max Griffin, Carlos Condit. Let's take a look at that real quick.
All right. So we have Max Griffin versus Carlos Condit in the feature fight of the prelims. Max Griffin, 77.5. Carlos Condit, 64.5 strikes. Tricky line. They're anticipating it goes a decision. What are you going to do?
I'm going to go more.
Jacob.
If you want the stats here.
Yeah.
Carlos Condit, his last fight against Matt Brown, who Matt Brown looked fantastic in his last fight, landed 157. Matt Brown only landed 37 in that fight.
Well, he shut him down.
Yeah. And Griffin, he got beat up. I
would do the more here for sure.
Yeah, it's more. This is going to be, I think, a slugfest unless there's somebody stops somebody. But Condit's not stopping people like he used to.
No, and he doesn't really get stopped.
Right. They're both tough. They're both good. Yeah.
Yep.
More all day.
I like more. $10. I'm regular confident in this, not uber confident. Throwing $10 at that. 10 to win 25. Jakey boy, which way are you going?
I'm going more for Trevin Giles and Duplessis. Is it Duplessis? Duplessis? I just think that this is, listen, Trevin Giles, former lock of the week. I mean, just absolutely battered Roman Dolidze in the last fight, but I think he does the same thing in this fight. He's a very intelligent fighter, and he knows how to get in and out of exchanges, so I don't think anyone gets finished here. I think Trevin wins another decision like he beat Roman, so if this is a decision win, I think it's definitely a more play. Even though, the stats the last fight, Trevin landed 43 total strikes to Roman's 75.
Yeah, I mean, Trevin Giles was absolutely beat on in his last fight. That decision was complete nonsense.
I mean, he only doubled this.
The power of the lock of the week, Angelo. The judges know about it now. Everybody's learned about it.
Well, so you're going more. I completely disagree. Dan, what would you do here? So we have striker versus grappler. So, I mean, if you think, I just don't, if either one of them implements their game plan, I don't see the numbers being more.
It's just it's not significant strike, so it's just a pretty low line. I mean, I'm going to go more too with my boy Jake.
I don't like.
Sorry, I'm trying to look at Trevin Giles' past. I might be regretting this. So his past fights, he has 43 against Roman. He had 51 in a third round TKO win, and another decision win. He had an 88. Go back to 2019. He had a submission win in the third. He only had 27 total strikes, and then he lost. And only had 36 in a loss against Zach Cummings. So he's definitely not a volume guy.
I think more or less is the play because Driscus is a striker, so he's going to be prominently striking. Trevin Giles is going to be looking for those takedowns, all those little pepper shots against the cage and everything else. He'll get past the 60, but as you said, Trevin Giles is not a volume guy, so I think he stays under that 51. So I'm doing more or less. That's my play
this
here.
fight is favored to go the distance, it's even money to go to the distance. So, 3 rounds, that's not a ton of strikes for both guys, especially if it's not significant strikes.
Well, my play's more or less. You guys are more. We'll see what this line does. As we mentioned, these lines move. So hop on the early lines that you like the best. Go to playmkf.com/WeWantPicks. Promo code WWP will instantly match your deposit. I tell you guys every single week, if you don't know what you're doing and you're nervous, deposit $20. They'll match your 20. You now have $40. Take the free 20, spread it out on a couple of these lines, and then use the free money forever. You'll never have to use your actual real money. I have never once had to deposit fresh money into my Monkey Knife Fight account. I withdraw money every single week, and I just continue to play over and over and over. It is almost impossible to lose money when you 2.5 times or 3 times. We will do another one of these videos.
They match up to 100, right?
They match up to 100. I say 20 because, 100 is a big number for some people, but take all the free money you can get.
Free 100 is even bigger.
Yeah, take all the free money you can get. We will do another one of these closer to the fight, but hop on the early lines closer to the fight. We'll do the knockout game, and we'll do a couple of these, mix and match different people, put them together to get 25 times instead of 3 times. We will see you next week.